Hello guys, in the last course, we have learned the detailed working process of the wireless charging circuit. So based on the working process, this course, we're gonna learn the wireless charging circuit diagnosis and maintenance. So when you receive the phone with a wireless charging issue, the first thing we do is try to replace the accessory like the wireless charger to exclude the external possibilities. After changing the accessories, if the issue is still unresolved, then the issue should come from the motherboard. And because we know the iPhone X is combined by two layers of the motherboard, so first thing we do is try to separate the motherboard, then put into the text fixture like the iCircuit to have a test to see if the wireless charging function back to normal or not. If the function come back to normal, then it means the issue is just caused by the poor connection between the two layers of the motherboard. So we're gonna use the heating platform to bonding back the two layers of motherboard. But if we use the text fixture to test, the issue is still unresolved, still abnormal. Then we should check the core schematic of the related pads on the PCB board. And here we can check the 6 pads on the PCB board. Let's go to the block diagram to have a look about the related test pads. And as you can see, the pads which start with S, it means this is the joint pads between the logic board and the signal board. So we're gonna measure the related pads data values are okay or not. If we found any pads is abnormal, then just track the real and replace the abnormal components. For example, if we find the joint pads S54 is abnormal, then it might be the related real components is get damaged. So we should track the real and get the abnormal components replaced. But if we measured all the related test points, the data value is okay, then it means the connection between the two layers of motherboard is okay. The next step we do is to measure the below component data values with multimeter. And there's many components for testing reference. In order to save time, I have marked it in the red color. Let's go to block diagram to have a look. So we should measure data values of the red marked components. Here only for your reference. For example, you can also measure this one or this one because they are on the same rail. So we're gonna measure the power and signal related rails. To random pick a component to measure whether this data value is okay or not. If we find any abnormal, then just track the abnormal rail and get the abnormal components replaced. If we find all the data values, they are okay, then it means the wireless charging issue is not come from the components around the wireless charging IC. So it might be the wireless charging IC itself. Based on repeat experience, we can go to the wireless charging IC directly. So we're gonna tear down the wireless charging IC, use 3400, then measure data values on the PCB pads. It's not so clear, so let's go to Reflex speed map to have a look. Wireless charging IC. So we're gonna measure the data values on each pad to see if they are normal or not. If we find any pads is abnormal, then it's the same. Just click it and track the abnormal rail related component. Get the abnormal component replaced. If all the pads on the PCB pads is normal, then it means the issue is come from the wireless charging IC itself. So we're gonna replace the wireless charging IC with a new one. Okay, so this is the whole process. Then let's move on to the next part about the common fault component of this circuit. First, it's a wireless charging IC. Malfunction of this IC can result in abnormal charge, no wireless charging symbol, wireless charging function field, etc. Second one, the charging IC. If this one get damaged, can also cause no charge, fake charge, abnormal charge, etc. Also based on repeat experience, these groups of capacitors, if they get damaged, can also cause the wireless charge function field. We can go to block diagram to have a look, to see what this capacitor used for. Actually, they are here. the two groups of resonant capacitors for energy storage. If any one get damaged, may cause a wireless charge function field. And these two capacitors, C3406, C3407, if any capacitor get damaged, will result in wireless charge function field. And this resistor is also a common issue. If this resistor get damaged, can also result in the wireless charge function field. Because as you can see, after the inner process, the voltage will outputted and sent back to the wire charging IC itself. And this one is just like a bridge. If this one damaged, the process will not be able to complete it. So this one is very important, and it's also a common issue based on repeat experience. Then the next one is this connector. If this connector gets deformed or damaged, will also cause the wireless charge function field. The last one is the bonding pads between the two layers of the motherboard. If motherboard get water damage or drop damage, they will cause many issues. So the wireless charging failure issue can also be caused by the poor connection between the two layers of the bonding pads. Let's have a summary. And for the components on this area, because you can see they are very close to each other, so we can use the Wilson method to detect which one is damaged. It should be faster. Okay, so that's the sharing of how to do the troubleshooting of the wireless charging circuit. See you next course.